Are you always having neck and shoulder pain and pain in other parts of the body? And then the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, my muscles hurt. And you start digging into them. But what if I told you that there's something else you could blame? Fascia. Fascia plays a major role in the releasing of muscles. It is the gatekeeper to the muscles. It's always in control. So here's my simple principle of working with fascia to release those tight muscles. Less is more. Less pressure, more benefits. So what is fascia and how does it affect muscles? Let's find out. So fascia is the connective tissue beneath the skin. It surrounds and attaches to all the structures in the body, the muscles, bones, blood vessels. It runs continuously from head to toe like a spider web, holding things together. It's like a protective shield. It stabilizes and strengthens the body. Now, fascia has two layers, the superficial layer that's right below the skin. And then we have the deeper fascia that encases all the deeper layer muscles, the blood vessels, the bones. So here's a simple way of understanding what fascia is. If you've ever tried to take the skin from the chicken, that white membrane that holds on to the flesh, that is fascia. We all have fascia. So let's find out some more about fascia. So remember, fascia has superficial layers and deep layers. So when our muscles hurt, we want to get to the deeper layers. So going through the superficial layers will help us get an easier access to the deeper layer muscles. Now, the less is more principle is what's going to work in this case. Fascia does not respond to force. So gaining access by force will only create pain and discomfort. And this is why it's necessary for us to get through the superficial layer of fascia first. Just remember, less is more. Less pressure, more benefits. So let's move on and see what happens when fascia is left untreated. So whenever we think of our tight muscles creating problems for us, limited range of motion, distorted posture, and all those things, we have to think of fascia. Because remember, fascia is that protective layer holding everything in place. So if fascia is left untreated, the muscles are left untreated, these are just some of the problems that it can create. Plantar fasciitis. We can have frozen shoulder. Most people are familiar with frozen shoulder. Inflexibility. We have limited range of motion where we are prone to injury. We can fall easily. Restrictive blood flow. For example, we have surgery. Cutting through the skin, we're cutting through fascia. That creates less blood flow to the muscle tissue. We can have a postural deviation, which is a tilted pelvis. That creates imbalance in the body. Any imbalance will create pain. And there are so many more problems. So let's find out more about fascia and how fascia works. So always remember, getting our muscles to relax. The key thing to remember is less is more. The less is more principle work for all muscle groups. The muscles will hurt when we start with deep pressure. They fight back. So always remember the less is more principle. Less pressure first, and then we can go deeper. Fascia does not respond to force, and this is why the less is more principle always works. Let's move on. So the less is more principle sounds great, but how does it work? Well, just remember, releasing fascia takes patience, lots of patience. Remember our goal? Our goal is to get to the deeper layer muscles. So the less is more principle, this is how it works. We use light, gentle, sustained pressure, light stretching. Then Once the muscles start and everything starts to loosen up, we can go a little deeper. Of course, based on the muscle groups that we're working with. If we're working with the back, the legs, and so on, then we can go deep. Now, if we're working on the cervical area, then we always use light pressure in the neck. Once we're done working with the muscles, then we stretch immediately after. And this gives a much better outcome that is lasting. Now that's all for today, folks. If you've benefited from this video, please let me know in the comments below. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already to see more videos like this. Thank you so much. Cheers.